Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel, I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about. And today, I just want to talk about, first of all, my day and some of the things that I've noticed today that I find interesting. So, first of all, huge uh, gratitude towards my cleaning person. She comes like once every 2 weeks. And honestly, like every time, I keep saying honestly, I noticed this while editing these videos and I keep diverging, but it's okay. So basically, I noticed that uh, I start feeling a bit lousy whenever like whenever the 15 days is almost up. So basically, my house is at the uncleanliest in a way, and like every time it just hits me whenever the cleaning person comes and my house is like so clean, and I just feel like reborn. It's so amazing to have a clean house. If I make slightly more money, I will make it once a week. Just because I'm not, you know, I don't want to allocate any more budget than I currently do out of my current paycheck to this, but genuinely one of the best things, one of the most worthy investments that I make is having someone clean my house, and it's just such a game changer for me, honestly, because I just keep on like uh, appreciating how cleanly it is, and like it just uh, reshapes my mindset, and it gives me hope again. And like unconsciously, whenever the house gets dirtier and dirtier, I mean, it's not that dirty, it's just that there is uh, how do you call it, dust, not dust but la poussière in French. Yeah, I guess it's dust accumulating, and maybe some some stuff on the floor, but it's really really helpful to have someone come clean the house. It's like just so game changing for me. I just love it. uh, and I wish I could afford to have it once a week, but in the future I have it on my improvements. Like if I get a pay raise, I will, that's the one of the first things that I will use the extra money for, is just to have a cleaner house more often, because it just affects my mindset and how I view life. And I start to become grumpy like right before the time that the cleaning person comes, and I don't notice it, and it's actually the clutter in my head. It's starting to accumulate, and whenever she comes, it's like everything is clean again, and my mind can be at ease. And it's just such a small thing that like you barely notice, but basically it has such a big impact on basically my outlook on life. And so yeah, just immense gratitude. And the second thing, also in terms of cleanliness and like basically not having a cluttered mind. Uh, Basically today I didn't listen to any podcasts, and I just listened to this one audiobook that I started. I mean, it's kind of autobiographical. I started listening to it because I heard about it from a podcast. But basically the audiobook is called Tough Titties. It's like just about some autobiographical stuff about this lady called Laura Belgray. And basically she's just talking about how it's okay. I mean, I think it's very US focused. I mean, the culture is very US focused. I mean, I don't relate too much with the stories, because I didn't definitely grew up from a culture that's in a culture that's very very different than what's described in the book. Uh, but it's kind of interesting to see someone else's perspective, and basically her whole premise is that it's okay to not figure out all of your life by 25 or like even 30. And I'm 25 and I'm still I'm struggling a lot with a few things, especially really when it comes to my career. So I mean, I do feel like she's not really a reference for me because she's in a different field than I am, and basically not like it's not portable in a way, but also, I mean, it also helps, you know, to have like to just say, okay, just embrace like the present moment and just not worry too much about what's the outcome, because in reality I am still young, and I still have a whole life behind me, and so there is no point in worrying about overly getting myself preoccupied, because over the long term things will work out. I just need to give it time. So um, you know, I take the advice, but with a grain of salt. I adjust it naturally to my life and my circumstances. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I don't usually like I don't usually just apply everything that I read, because I like to apply my own critical thinking lens. Uh, and yeah, I mean, this is somewhat helpful, but I don't think it's something that everyone needs to follow, because not everyone uh, was privileged enough to like be able to do it, and so that's okay. I mean, she's just telling her story and giving advice from her point of view, which is advice that's specific for the people who had the same upbringing as her, and not necessarily everyone, but that's okay. I mean, there's always something to learn, even from someone that's so different from us. And yeah, I mean, I'm taking just the bits and pieces that are interesting to me, and if not taking any lessons, I'm just basically enjoying the story because it's very entertaining, uh, a bit edgy, to be honest. Like there were some details that I did not want to hear, to be honest. Like there was this whole chapter which is a bit, let's say, risque, because she was talking about her sex life in her 20s, and I'm like, I was just skipping a bit. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I listened in a bit to see what I would miss if I skipped all of it. But yeah, it was fine. Uh, that's her life. Uh, but uh, but yeah, it's somewhat entertaining, and it's nice to put yourself in other people's shoes, even if they're very, very different than you, and you couldn't possibly imagine uh, like living the same life as them. But there are always similarities, no matter how different two people are. You will always find similarities, if not just the fact that you're human, and that you share 99% of your DNA, and then yeah, that's uh, sometimes that's enough. But yeah, that was uh, that was one thing, and I also really appreciate that today I didn't listen to any podcasts, and I feel like lately, because I've only been listening to many podcasts, um I've kind of gotten too into them, in the sense that basically they affect how I feel, in the sense that I feel like I'm not doing enough. Especially because the kind of podcasts that I listen to are always like business, growth, personal development podcasts. And so uh, basically, I've been driving myself too hard on that on the podcast end, and today it just helped to just not listen to it, and I felt a bit more clear-minded and not feeling like I'm not good enough or something like that. just because I mean, I learn a lot from those podcasts. That's why I listen to them. But maybe it's good from time to time to give yourself a break. And today was one of those days. I mean, I did not entirely give myself a break, but I tried something else, which was listening to the audiobook. And I've really, really missed listening to audiobooks because of the long storyline that there is, especially memoirs. Oh my god, I cannot talk enough about memoirs. I love memoirs so much. I just find them so intriguing, and I just get to learn about different people's lives, and yeah, I just want to keep listening to them, even even if they're a bit odd, like the one that I'm listening to in some parts, because I don't relate at all to to the experience. But it's okay because it's good to learn by putting yourself in other people's shoes and like just try to be empathetic and see the things from their perspective, even though if you don't necessarily agree with whatever uh, you know whatever things they're saying. But it's okay. It's interesting, and I'm learning from it. I'm learning to be empathetic towards myself and towards others naturally. So yeah, I think that's all I had to talk about for today. Thanks a lot for tuning in. You can click here to watch my previous video on the channel, and you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. So I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, night, whichever time of day it is where you are right now. Bye for now, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye!